Welcome to the Desert Vista Math Library. This is a new resource that we've created to help students to prepare so that they can review math topics from previous math courses so they can be successful as possible in their next year math course. We've created this library with topics covered separately so that it's possible to not only do a long review all in the summer, but you can go back during the school year and review individual topics as necessary as they come up. This video is intended to introduce the library and how it's supposed to be used for review in the summer. But you can use it in any way that is helpful to you. Okay, the intent here is that you would browse to the library and you would get to a resource screen here that has a list of classes that have materials, and you click on your class to get to your class website. The class website has kind of two sections. There's a section at the top that has the quiz and checklist I'm going to talk about and instructions, and then below that is all the review material for the math topics. So you're already watching the video, so I'm assuming you got to this page. The first thing that you want to do when you get to the library is you want to print out and take the prerequisite topics pre-quiz for your class. So that would be this link right here, prerequisite topics pre-quiz. If you print it, you'll find that there's a quiz, fairly long, and this one is 39 questions that covers all of the main ideas from prerequisite math classes that are going to be important for your upcoming math class. So what you want to do is take this quiz, print it out, take it. Take your time. Don't get help from anyone. Certainly don't have somebody do it or with you or for you or cheat or anything like that. Nobody's going to see the results of this quiz except for you. The purpose of the quiz is so you can identify the topics that you understand. Think of it this way. Every question you get right, that's a topic you don't need to review because that's something you already understand. But if you get a question wrong, it's an indication that you're going to struggle with that topic in your next math class. So we want to help you identify that. So be honest, take the quiz, take your time, maybe take it in a couple different sessions so that you don't burn out taking it, right? It's going to take a good hour and a half to take it, but do your best. And then when you're done, what you want to do is come back to the library page and print the answer key and topic checklist. So if you go back to the class page here below where the quiz link is, there's a link to the answer key and topic checklist. Now you want to print the first page of that out only, the checklist, okay? And then what you want to do is use the rest of that, which is the answer key, to grade your pre-quiz. Let me show you what that looks like. If you go to that page, after the checklist, there is a key. Now the answer key shows, for example, the problem number, the correct answer, so you can compare that to the answer that you got. And then if you did get it right, awesome, that means you don't need to review that topic. But if you miss that question, it tells you what section and particular topic this was about. Question 20 happens to be in the factoring section, and it's about using the greatest common factor. So you'd go to your checklist, you'd find where it says factoring, and you'd check the box next to greatest common factor, indicating that's one topic that you should review. Okay, so you should go through the whole quiz, grade it, and any problem that you got wrong, you should check the corresponding topic. Okay, once you're done with that, then you want to, just for the topics that are on your checklist, so you don't want to spend time reviewing the stuff you don't need to review, but just for the ones that are on your checklist, then you want to use the rest of the page as review materials to review. So below that, let's say that you had that thing about the greatest common factoring. You can come down here to the factoring section. There's topics for expressions, for graphing equations, for equations of lines, for factoring, and for solving equations. So let's say that you did miss the question on greatest common factor on the quiz. There is for every topic, there's the same things. There are review video, or sometimes more than one video. And these were recorded specifically giving the way we teach this at Desert Vista. Okay, and then there's a practice pages that gives you a way to practice kind of problems and things to practice, almost like homework. And then there's a little 2 or 3 question post quiz that you can give yourself called Check Your Understanding. So what you want to do is click on the review video. That's a link to a YouTube video that covers this. The maximum length of any of these videos is 15 minutes, so they're very short, but they don't assume that you have that you understand this. There's no assumed knowledge. It fully explains the topic, so you should be able to completely learn it from scratch, even if you didn't understand this at all in your previous math class. And when you've got that done, then you want to click on the practice pages once you're done reviewing the review video. And the practice pages have a number of questions. You can print that first section out. and practice it just like you're doing homework, followed by answers so you can check your answers. And then if you didn't get something right, there are complete solutions worked out that show a teacher's application that shows how a teacher would have solved that question to get the correct answer. So there's a lot of ways to practice. Now you should use the video and the practice pages as much as necessary to practice, and when you feel like you understand the topic, maybe go back and rewatch the video if necessary, retry the problems, things like that. Then you can check your understanding by taking the 2 or 3, or this one's a 4 question. This is the longest of all of them, 4 questions, just to make sure you understand all the major ideas in that topic, and then you can grade your answers. And when you're able to get that correct, then you can go back to your checklist and you can cross that one off and then move on to another topic until you've covered your topics. So it might be that that you need a lot of review, or maybe just a few topics. If it's a few topics, that's fantastic. You can brush up. Even if it's a lot of topics, we would encourage you to spend as much time as necessary to understand these topics, because we wouldn't put them in the library if they weren't necessary for success in your next math class. Okay, the last thing you should know is that you should be prepared to take a quiz or a test, or maybe multiple quizzes or tests spaced out sometime in the first few weeks of your class next year that cover these topics. And you should also know that we're not really planning to spend a lot of time. We'll spend a little time maybe on some of the more important topics or more complicated topics, but for the most part we're relying on this library for you to teach yourself the topics and review if necessary, because these were all topics that were covered in previous math classes. So be prepared to take a similar quiz to this pre-quiz sometime early in your math class. Okay, just to quickly review how you should use this math library to review in the summer. First of all, print and take the topics pre-quiz, and do that completely and honestly. Then print the answer key and topic checklist. Print the checklist paper, then use the answer key to check your quiz, and then check off the topics for the questions that you missed. Then use your answer key to grade, and then go back and use the topics in the library itself. Use the videos, use the practice pages, and then you check your understanding to do whatever level of review or refreshing or maybe even relearning from scratch that you need to understand those topics, and be prepared to take a quiz over all this stuff. Okay, so hopefully this library will help you not only in the summer but throughout the year as you need to review these topics. And we wish you all the success in your next math class.